Hello everybody, Sean Milburn here with Milburn Motorsports once again today, bringing you a video on how to navigate the Thunderhill 3-mile raceway. This is the counterclockwise configuration with the bypass. We're not going over the crow's nest in this video. I haven't seen a whole lot of videos on how to actually navigate this track that go over in detail every single corner, kind of how they function. You'll learn some of these things maybe at like a NASA driving school or something like that. But I thought it would be very good to share on the internet to all you guys that are curious on how the 3-mile works, how the corners work, and how you should approach going about taking these corners and implementing some of this advice into your own tracking ability. What I'm saying here might not specifically work for you. This is what I have found to be the best line, especially for me. This is the way I like navigating this course and how to get around it. I find it to be the smoothest and the fastest, and it's just overall worked. So we're gonna go ahead and jump on into the video. I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. If you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment if you enjoy it. Helps me out a lot. If there's something in specific you want to see, let me know so that I can provide it for you. Love making content for you guys. All you got to do is let me know what you want to see. Let's get into it. Alright, so here we are on the track. We're going to go ahead and just head down this main straight. If you go ahead and you look right over there, I got a track map set up for you guys. So we're right now between turns 15 and turn 1 on this straightaway. We're going to be going ahead and start hauling into turn 1. And I'll stop at the braking zone so we can check that out. So here we go. We're going to be crossing over the blend line where you enter the track. Right here is going to be your braking zone. You can see the braking markers right over here. Those are going to be a pretty good indicator for you on where you should start slowing down. You'll also notice the cones they put out on this track, which is that right there. That will be your turn-in indicator. So you'll see that a lot as we go around this track, just cones in random locations. Those are usually there for your points to aim at. Sometimes they'll be there and sometimes they won't. Thankfully for this video, they were there so I can show you guys specifically what I mean. Crossing over this blend line, this is going to be a little bit of a sketchy spot because this is where other cars enter traffic, though they do keep someone at the end of the pit exit in basically every organization you'll go to that keeps watch for traffic, and they'll make sure that nobody's coming down the straightaway, but you always want to make sure yourself. It's always good to be aware of what's going on around you. So we're going to go ahead and head through this corner. Here we go, turn 1. Get into that cone, nice smooth turn in. Track all the way out, and we're going to be heading down a hill into turn 2. It is down a decline. That will be a repeating trend for this track where you're going to be faced with quite a few corners that are either uphill or downhill. There's a lot of variation in that regard, which makes it really fun. Turn 2 is a really good spot where you can get used to how your traction is going to be functioning for the session that you're in. It's a really good spot to feel out your car and get used to the grip and know where the grip is so that you don't cook a corner too fast on the other corners to come. It's a good spot to really start nailing down, okay, my car's doing this and I can either speed up or I'm understeering, so I need to slow down. So yep, turn 2, downhill, off camber a little bit, big long rounded corner. So I like to start out a little wide and I work my way in as I roll on the power, as you see here. Get all the way out, and then you're going to need to transition about halfway over onto the track. So setting up for turn 3, again, you're going to be faced with a downhill corner that is off camber. So this is a spot where a lot of people tend to spin their cars. You'll see it a lot, or if you go with new people, people will tend to hug this white line and they'll ride it right along the inside, which is definitely not the faster way to go through it. This video's going faster, so you're going to want to start right around here. I say this because you're going to get a lot better rotation, and you're going to need to actually end up on the inside of this corner to set up for the left-hander for the next corner. If you go ahead and look at the track map right here, we're going to be hugging this right side as we come up here to set up for turn 4, as you'll see here. So get a nice turn in, make sure you have enough grip and that you're not spinning. You can put a little power in it, hug this rumble strip to set up for turn 4. You can see I straightened out the wheel, got it transitioned the other direction to try and set up for this turn. If you don't hit this transition right, you'll likely just miss turn 4, and that's okay because you'll always get another chance to try it again the next lap. So yeah, get that timing down and work it into this rumble strip. Power out to this outside rumble strip and head into turn 5. Turn 5 is going to be kind of the same concept on entry as turn 3 in terms of you're going to want to be about halfway into the middle of the track. It's kind of scary because you can't see what's on the other side. You're just really looking at, I mean, the sky at this point. So you'll get used to where the track is on the other side of this hill. This is the bypass. So as we come up and over this hill, you're going to see this white line on the right side, right about there. This is kind of what you're going to be aiming for. There's a bump right here from where the crow's nest is. So as I play this video, you'll see the car kind of bump as I go over. Don't be alarmed. You're going to just have to get used to that. The car will keep traction. And don't be afraid to overslow into this corner until you gain the confidence to work your way into it. So we're going to keep playing it. Work it right into this rumble strip. So as we're working it here, we're going to kind of be adding power and rounding this out, tracking out to the middle of the track and then back over to the right to set up for 6. So right here, can roll on the power. Just kind of don't jab the brakes, but really kind of squeeze, give them a good squeeze and get that weight transferred onto the nose to set up for 6. As you get down to the bottom of this, you are traveling a little too fast to go through it without any brakes. So get that little bit of braking done, get the weight on the nose, and then start your entry for turn 6. So here we go, working it into this cone yet again. Power out to the outside rumble strip. Turn 7 is this corner here. It's not really much of a corner. You can take it flat in most cars. They really don't have much of a problem with it. Now turn 8, this is the scariest corner on the whole track. You can see it right over here. It's this big kink and it's also up a hill. So you do have that little bit of mercy where it's going uphill, not downhill. So you have gravity at your side and traction on your side. It's pretty flat, so you don't get much camber to either hinder or help you. And there is a big long concrete run out on the outside of this corner. So if all else fails, there's a little bit of room for you to get back, but you will need to get back onto the track or you'll just run right off of it. To set up for this, I would highly recommend starting out braking and working your way into a zone where you can start entering it without your brakes. That's only if you're in a car that is capable of doing that. So here, I just give it a lift as I start my entry. I get the car shifted and I kind of roll on the power through it, as you'll see here. It's a pretty high-speed corner. It's about 100 miles an hour, maybe a little bit over, once you really start getting the hang of it. So here we go. All the way onto that inside, little bit of run out, you see me using it there, and then you're up the hill to turn 9. If we go ahead and take a look at turn 9 at the track map for a moment, you can see that it is kind of just it looks like a nothing of a corner from an aerial view, but what's really nice is you get a lot of help with traction because it has a lot of camber once you're getting to that apex. So you'll be able to actually turn in a little bit faster than you think that you really can. And it's another one of those overcrest corners, so you're not going to be able to see the track as you're going through the corner. You're going to have to get used to where it is and set up for that accordingly. So you'll hear on the turn in, the tires will be chirping, being a little bit unhappy, and then all of a sudden it'll stop. That suspension's going to load as it's traveling up that hill, and it's going to give you that little bit of increased traction to roll back on that power and start heading down the back side. So we're going to go ahead and continue. There we go, turn in. There we go. Blazing down this hill. You can see how steep that is as you're entering the braking zone for turn 10. Entering this braking zone, it is actually pretty flat when you're first starting to get on the brakes, and then as you're on the brakes, it starts diving away from you. So this braking zone is downhill. And you're going to need to, again, get a little bit used to it. This is a very good corner for practicing your trail braking if that's something that you're still working at, of getting that car transferred onto the nose, getting the weight planted there, and then slowly starting to work the wheel in as you're lifting off that brake to cause that rotation. You're going to be going a lot slower on this corner in turn 11 than you are anywhere else on the track, so it's a really good spot for practicing that. And we're going to go ahead and play it. So you'll see him on the brakes, give it a little bit of a trail brake into that inside. We're We're going to stay on this outside, setting up for turn 11. This is the lowest speed corner on the track, and it's also the most diverse in the sense of there is a concrete patch on the outside of this corner. So if you look at 11, 12 here, 12 basically gets cut just like that, basically completely off by this giant concrete patch. And sometimes they'll put a bunch of cones on it to force you to actually go through 11 and then 12. But those usually just get, if it's a race day for example, those just get taken out, like they just get hit by other cars. But if they are there, you're going to need to take that into account. So your first lap out for the day, just make sure those cones aren't there, and if they aren't, you can just drive over that concrete patch, as I'm going to do right here. So turn in, start rolling on the power, and just drive all the way over that big concrete patch, basically skipping the corner. And then it's just a run down the back straight. This whole section here is going to be the back straight into the braking zone for turn 14. You can see the braking markers off to the side over here, and then the turn-in cone right about there. So we're going to go ahead and look at the track map once more. I feel this is a very, very important corner if you're going for lap times, because this corner can make or break your exit speed, which in turn will say you're 5 miles an hour slower because you don't do the corner properly. That's a lot of time. So this should be one corner between turn 14 and 15. You're going to need to get the car slowed down and treat this as one single corner. I know it doesn't really look like you can do that, but they add a concrete patch on this outside here. Everybody uses it. Don't feel ashamed of doing it. You're not doing anything wrong. So with that concrete patch here, you can enter, squeeze this really tight. It's going to be a late turn in. Don't turn in early or you're going to run out of track. So as you'll see here, I get it really slowed down, nice on the brakes, wait for that cone, be nice and patient, and get it rotated into that inside rumble strip. Here we go. Roll on the power, let the wheel out, get it out onto that concrete patch. Don't hit that rumble strip. You can see as I show there, you can really make a big error if you hit that rumble strip, especially if you don't know what your car is capable of. Some cars do it just fine. If your car's set up for that and you've been over it multiple times, then if you can trust it, go for it. I personally don't like hitting that because every time I hit it in any car I've ever been in, the car likes to hop, and it can easily turn from a hop into rotation, and that rotation sends you right into the wall. So that tire barrier is there for a reason. Don't discount it, and be mindful of that as you're going through the turn. It's really the only spot on the track you have a problem of hitting a wall. You can see everywhere else is just giant open field. That was a lap at Thunder Hill, and you just do that all over again and just start working your pace up from there. This has been Sean Milburn with Milburn Motorsports. I hope this video helped me out. Please let me know if it did. If you go out to the track, you take some of the things I say and start applying them into your driving, always let me know. Your guys' feedback is always the best, and I love helping you guys try and get better at what you're doing. Helping you helps me. So until the next video, this has been it. Really hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment on what you want to see next. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.